Okay.
Okay. Ellie Rogers, I would like to thank you for your time and for your willingness to share your experience in researching and finding a home in an independent living community with others. It is our intention to help others through the process with information that you've learned about the process so far. And I'm hoping that you might just set the stage a little bit with how did you know it was time, to make a change?
I was tired of living in an older home by myself and being totally financially responsible for expenses, for maintenance, just for living.
Yeah. So you were by yourself in an older home.
I was by myself. My husband had gone into assisted living, and so I needed to make a decision what I was going to do. I didn't want to continue on. Much as I loved the town that I was in and the building, I could not support it financially forever on.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. So is there anything that you wish that you knew, or any question that you wish you asked before selecting your community?
I wish that I had known a little bit more about what the services were that they offered.
Okay.
I knew they had independent living, which is what I was going for initially. There was also assisted living and memory care, but at the time I did not feel I needed those. I still don't. But I didn't realize they do not provide ongoing nursing care when you specifically require 24/7. Not that I hope to need it,
Right.
but who knows? I might someday, and it is not available here specifically.
Okay.
So I should have known more in that terms,
Okay.
in those terms.
Had you known that ahead of time, would that have influenced your decision?
It would have entered in, but it probably wouldn't have changed it because I was familiar enough with this place to really like the ambiance of the staff.
Yep.
And the amenities that they did offer.
Okay.
And everybody looked happy here. And I liked that.
Yeah, we like that.
It was a nice warm feeling. Just walking in the door, they knew your name. And that was impressive.
Yeah. Wow.
So, and it has continued. It wasn't for show. It was real.
How long has it, have you been there?
I've been there, it was a year in June, and this is October, so almost a year and a half, not quite.
Wow.
So I think I've experienced the full season anyway.
Yeah, yeah. What was most important to you about choosing a community while you were still looking at what your options were? So
I would say the location.
Okay.
I didn't want to have to be distanced from my friends, from associations that were important to me, my church, my doctors, my family, my friends.
Yep.
So those were the main things, plus the price of it compared to other locations.
Sure, sure. No, that makes sense. Okay. And now that you have moved and experienced living in an independent living community, is there anything you wished you would have researched more, or any questions you wish you would have asked before making your decision on where to live? So is living there, did that, spur any other, questions that you wish you would have thought about?
Well, I should have thought more about what the services, for instance, they don't offer the nursing service, which I did not really understand or even question. Mm-hmm. And I should have inquired into that more. Okay. But so far I don't need it, so it's still a moot possibility out there.
Activities, were the activities that you're experiencing what you thought it might be, or is that a little different?
And more so.
And more so.
Yeah, I have really enjoyed being able to do things that, because I was taking care of my husband previously, I wasn't able to have time to do. many things that now I can enjoy and do with other people. And there are always other people around, although I must say, this COVID-19 has put a big dent in our associations as far as, I mean, we're still under quarantine, have been since March.
Wow. Wow.
So we're limited to the facility and doctor medical appointments.
And you're still having fun? You're still having fun, yeah?
Oh, yes, we had a lot of fun. Just
Oh,
this
good.
afternoon, went to a beautiful concert put on by my next door neighbor downstairs in the auditorium. There were
Oh, wow.
probably 20 people,
Wow.
separated 6 feet apart with our
Sure.
masks on, but it was beautiful.
Oh, that's neat. What did you do to plan your move? And what are a few things you didn't do that you wished you would have done?
In what respect?
Planning. So you're at home and you're planning the move.
Well, when
what
it
did you?
ended up, when I put my name on the waiting list here,
Yeah.
and they said it would take 4 to 6 months normally, probably, to get a call that there was a place ready. Well, it was exactly 1 month and they gave me a call. Not that I had to take it, I would have still remained on the waiting list, but they had what I wanted available.
Wow.
If I could move in a month,
Huh.
which meant I had to scurry around, and all my family assisted negatively to help sell the house. It didn't quite sell in a month, but it was 2 months. But we had a lot to do to get it ready to sell, which took a lot of time and planning and effort. And I
Yes.
couldn't have done it alone, and I didn't do it alone, obviously. But it came about. It was miraculous, really.
Oh, wow. Wow. So you did all that in a month? Or is it?
Yeah, I got the call that I would have an apartment June 15th, and I got that call on May 15th.
Oh my gosh.
I
Wow.
could, as I say, I could have refused it and I would have remained on the waiting list, but it was exactly what I wanted. No guarantee that would come up again in another month or two. So
Right.
I went for it.
Good for
I
you.
did see the apartment first, so that helped to sell me.
So how has living in your community impacted your life for the better?
I have people all around. I have services. I eat out every night in the dining room. And I have all the amenities that I need, more than I can take part in. So I'm safe, I'm warm, I have air conditioning, heat, just at the press of a button.
Yes.
I don't have to pay for that, although of course in my rent I'm paying for it.
Sure.
But I just love it. I definitely feel I made the right decision,
Oh boy.
as long as I can afford it.
Yeah. Right. How about how has living in your community impacted your life for the worse?
The pandemic.
Yeah.
The pandemic has made all the difference in everybody's life here.
Right.
But we have not had any instances of the virus here. And I really give them
That's amazing.
all the credit for that, because they have kept us safe and kept us sane in spite of it all.
Safe and healthy. That's amazing.
Right, absolutely.
Wow.
And there are a lot of places where that is not true of this kind of facility.
Right. A lot of them. If you could do it again, would you do anything differently now as far as planning your new home?
Well, first of all, the big thing will be I don't have a house to sell. So that was the biggest impediment possibility.
Right.
I would know better what to look for, but I don't feel the need of doing that unless at some point in time my needs here change or things change here. But for the foreseeable future, I hope to stay.
Yes. Yes. So what I think I'm hearing you say is that no, you wouldn't do anything really differently now that
Yeah.
You know,
Not exceedingly so, no.
wow, okay. Um, and how did proximity to family affect your home selection?
It did. Um, Two of my children are within an hour's distance.
Hmm,
Two are further away,
okay,
but we are able to visit back and forth to a degree. Although again, the pandemic has interfered with that,
yeah,
with actual more than 6 feet apart visits.
right, right.
And
That must
the
be hard.
distance traveled therefore is a problem. But I didn't want to leave everything that I was familiar with. So I didn't want to go much further away than I am now from my original home.
Sure,
And
sure.
I have relatives here besides family, not in the immediate area, but in the near close by, so that if I want to, I could have gotten to them. However, things have changed that, namely the pandemic.
Right. Oh, that's yeah, yeah, yeah. It's affected everybody. Um, have how have you planned for anticipated price increases in your home?
How have I planned what?
For anticipated price increases, I would imagine every year they tell you
It
to,
goes up supposedly about 4% a year.
okay,
Actually, this year it went up 2%. So
wow,
they are holding back on major increases, but their expenses are going up too. You know,
yeah,
the world is not standing still.
yep,
So they are trying to make it a regular minor increase, but I'm sure that they need to do it.
yep. So did you take that into account while you were figuring out, you know, whether or not this was an affordable option for you?
Not very well. I
Okay,
mean, it was hard to know exactly what my cost was going to be going on.
okay,
Not being able to go out and do anything other than attend medical appointments has saved me a lot of money. I don't go shopping in stores. I don't go to stores.
huh,
My son picks up groceries every other week. So that's a minimal. And I don't need a lot of groceries because my main meal is here and already provided for me.
wow,
Not to say I don't pay for it, but I don't pay it directly.
yep. So you have options. You could either choose to eat
Oh,
in or
yes.
cook for yourself.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, nice.
There's always a choice of 2 to 6 things on the menus. And the
Wow.
food is really, for the most part, good.
Yeah.
And I'm critical of that. I always had good food.
Oh, that's amazing. Um, I have a last question for you. And if you feel like you want to elaborate on this one a little bit, please do. Did you make the right decision and why?
Absolutely. I have no doubt that for this time in my life, it was the right thing to do. I've made a lot of new friends, I feel. I've been able to enter into activities that I couldn't do by myself previously, even though I enjoyed them. You can't play bridge by yourself. You need
No.
3 other people. And I love it. And I can do that twice a week now.
Yeah.
I've gotten into team trivia, which is crazy. I hated trivia because I always lost to my oldest son. But here it's a joke. Everybody shows. We had 15 people yesterday for team trivia,
No way.
3 different teams of 5 each. And it was hysterical. And it really showed how much we don't know, but it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Those
awesome.
kinds of things. Today with the concert, you know, these are special things. I couldn't have these at home by myself, certainly. And I couldn't have always had them where I lived at the time. But here they're right on site. I do yoga twice a week out in the backyard, weather permitting, and they're arranging to do that inside come another month,
Wow.
where the instructor maybe will be out just outside the door to a big room where we will all be following his directions. So we'll see how it works out.
Amazing. Well, Ellie, I want to again thank you for your time, for allowing us to peek into the process that you went through
Sure.
to help other people. And
Right. I hope it helps somebody. It was a big decision, but I don't regret a minute of it. And
fantastic.
thanks to my family, it's been possible.
Right. Well,
So
God bless
thank you,
and
Tommy.
take care.
Okay. Thanks.